Hello my dear friends, let's start our video stream today on Friday. Start on. Hello my dear friends, best greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. My name is Dr. Viktor Fursov, I'm a research entomologist, beekeeper and teacher. Let's start our video stream today on this evening time, Friday. It's actually not the midnight, just evening time, so late in neighboring countries and just early just going to the west. So that's why the difference in time is pretty convenient. Some people in western countries can watch me just directly online, and people in Ukraine also can watch me, but all about another country is pretty welcome. Only some neighboring countries are not welcome. You do understand what I mean. Because we start actually from the beginning, from the situation in Ukraine, about Newsline. What's about Newsline in Kyiv? I do not speak too much about Ukraine because I'm not a reporter and I'm not obliged to talk about it. But what's about Newsline in Kyiv? Actually, fortunately, today was pretty quiet day in Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. Relatively quiet, I would say, because I have heard several times huge far away somewhere explosions, but fortunately I checked in Newsline and it was indicated that some explosive materials have been liquidated in some certain areas by our militaries. So this was safe situation, not some explosions in the city, but just outside for security to demine some areas which were mined by our disgusting aggressors certain period of time before. That's why the situation of remining and just mining again for security is still continuing, because war is continuing and this very unpleasant situation, not unpleasant, this is disgusting, this is frustrating, this is very much irritating situation for all of us in Ukraine, and of course for people who is outside can relax a little bit, who is outside of Ukraine. Relax, because these people do not hear daily air sirens about possible air attacks. And do not expect some explosions, do not expect drones and everything else, all strange atrocities in the front line. But Kyiv a little bit far away from front line, not so far away, because front line is 2,000 kilometers on the south and southeast, and it's a difficult situation, so we're waiting for better from our side. What's about insects? That's much better and more pleasant subject for talking. Do not become crazy being involved only in Newsline about war atrocities and war destruction and war consequences and possibilities, strange situations. So I'm not political reader, not political reviewer and reporter, so please search for political news somewhere else. We will be talking about insects. Insects, little bit connected with some sort of social activities even at the present time. Social activities and even connected with politics. Why? Because I have seen I will be talking today a little bit about social insects. Social insects, because I've seen some interviews, some presentations of our Ukrainian writer with his name, Andrei Kurkov. Yes, Andrei Kurkov. Quite interesting, because he wrote a novel named Ray Beetles. No, not beetles, Ray Bees. Ray Bees. This bee is black colored, black and red, but the name of his novel, Ray Bees. Ray Bees, about people, not about bees, but about people who is living in a gray zone between front line of aggressors, between our Ukrainian front line, and this middle way. This is a gray zone where some humans, some families still living and frustrating and just under great suppression, and it's quite difficult. But he wrote this book some years ago, some years ago already, but I've seen his presentation recently, and I noticed quite interesting indicated some facts. One of roles in this book is just a beekeeper. Beekeeper who is living in a gray zone between Ukrainian front line and aggressor's front line. Yes, and it's quite strange because he lately migrating in some places, migrating to the south, migrating to the Crimea, occupied area of Ukraine. And he's talking about bees. He's talking about bees. Hello to Days of a Zoologist who is coming to our conversation. Hello. Yes, and what's about gray bees? He's talking about bees, about his behavior. And this is one of acting persons in this novel, Gray Bees. The author actually explained that there are some kind of philosophers in villages, some beekeepers becoming philosophers. And this person in this novel, Gray Bees of Andrei Kurkov, he is talking that bees were social insects. He doesn't have too much scientific knowledge, but he has just personal common knowledge. But these bees, honeybees, were living like in a communist society. And it's reminded him about this post-Soviet society. It was his young days in the Soviet society when he was young, happy, and life was proliferous and good one, and was very quiet and peaceful. He said, honeybees were living in a communist society, but so because they are helping each other, they're very convenient for communications, they understand each other, and they share all the commodities between them equally, like in a communist society. But ants were living in a socialist society, also with equal rights, with sharing the knowledge, with sharing commodities, sharing food, like in a socialist society, and very peaceful. I was quite a little bit surprised. This philosopher from a village in this novel, Gray Bees. So let's talk about bees which are living not like parasitoids, because there are some parasitic wasps behind of me in this poster. These are parasitic wasps, tiny small parasitic wasps. But what about honeybees? Do they all equal? Are they have equal rights? Or there is actually the book of Thomas Shelley named Democracy of Bees. Democracy of Bees. What does it mean, democracy? Yes, some people, some Americans, they just introduced this social terminology even to bees. Democracy in bee society, in social bee society. Does exist democracy in a bee society? And what is predomination of the democracy in a bee society? That's quite interesting. Do you have democracy? Yes, I have democracy. I have democracy in the society. So many bees, many honeybees, they have their bees' rights, because we are equal. We have bee rights for food. We can all receive good kind of food, good honey, not poisonous honey, not only water, not only just very bad nectar, but also very sweet honey. These honeybees say, because they are living in a like kind of a communist society. They are equal for all means of work. All this beekeeping farm, all this beekeeping apiary, belonging to us, our colony. We are living in a communist society. No. So let's start from the beginning and try to understand what kind of bees living in a honeybees. Honeybees in a beehives. Beehive is providing, usually by beekeeper. Oh, no. We're just living sometimes in a hollow tree. Well, it can be free. We can escape. We are not domesticated, honeybees saying to us. Yes, to be honest, honeybees, they are not domesticated animals. What means domesticated animals? We are not domesticated. We're wild, we're feral. But human beings thinking that we're domesticated, that we're homes bees. domesticated like pigs, like cows, like all other domestic animals, like swine in my farming system. Have they been domesticated? Actually, they are not domesticated. They changed a little bit under the selection during the hundreds and thousands years, but no, they are not precisely domesticated like silk moth. One insect which is domesticated in reality, this is a silk moth, very special silk moth which lost ability to fly, and this silk moth, which is silk moth and oak moth, were used to produce silk in cocoons. High quality silk moth cocoons and oak moth cocoons, just a little bit different quality. And of course, during the thousands of years of selections, the moths lost ability to fly. Silk moths do not fly. They only can mate after hatching. I have cocoons later. I will repeat this idea again. Then mating, and then female is laying eggs, just producing then from eggs very fresh caterpillars. And caterpillars will be growing, and caterpillars are fed by humans, because caterpillars when making cocoon and with pupa inside. And cocoon is very valuable by human beings to collect silk. And that's why silk moths, they do not fly outside from the silk farm. They do not fly outside. They do not have outside feral silk moths. There are some another native species living in nature, in the forest. They are not domesticated, but silk moth is domesticated. But we are not domesticated insects. Yes, you are not domesticated. That's why honeybee is sometimes escaping human being factory, human being farm, and from beekeeping farm coming outside somewhere to another farm, or to the forest, or to the shrubs, trying to escape from human being activities, trying to find somewhere new shelter for the colony, where we produce new nests. So, but we can determine them as a feral if you found them somewhere in a forest, so you say they are feral. They are actually, to be honest, feral in your beekeeping farm, and in beekeeping farm or in a forest as well, because they are wild. But what's about equality? Equality of honeybees. We are equal. We are living like in a human being society, like in a communism. We are communistic creatures. We do not have just the Tsar. We do not have a king. We do not have dictatorship. We are living in a communist society, saying this honeybee. Let's start from the beginning and look for this poster. Honeybees! Yes, honeybees! Honeybees can be separated to different castes, because there are some honeybees, working honeybees and not working honeybees. And who is not working honeybees? No, honeybees all working, but they are working in a different ways because they have a different work. So they have a different responsibilities. They have different specialities. They have different jobs. Honeybees. The major honeybee is a queen. Queen is a fertilized honeybee. Fertilized. Why? Because she was growing from fertilized egg. And this is a female. And drones are produced by mother from unfertilized eggs. Produced. This is a drones. Males are important for what? For mating of honeybees and for transferation, for changing the genes, for hereditary purpose, to pass different abilities how to collect honey, how to maintain the colony. All hereditary abilities can be passed from fathers or just from drones colony to a new colony for a new fertilized queen of a new colony. So, the major part of a honeybee colony is a queen and drones, and of course, worker bees. Working bees were have different jobs. Working bees were also fertilized females, but were fed different food. Yes, we are not equal. We are not equal, saying working bee, because we have been fed by special food by other worker bees. That's why we got little bit less food, and from this food in the cells have been born worker bees, and from a big cell, queen cell, with an absolutely wonderful royal honey, royal milk was born the queen. Yes, we are not equal. Queen received the best food, and worker bees received not the best, but good food. But queen in a good colony, just only one, should be just one. And worker bees, were many of them? Were about 20,000 of worker bees in a honeybee colony. Up to 50 or 60,000. 600 worker bees in a colony, big colony. And we're equal, because we're produced from fertilized eggs. And of course, we can fly and sometimes change our job. And what kind of job doing working bees? Different kind of jobs. I wrote it on this poster. Don't forget about. First of all, I would say, do you like or hate insects? If you do not like insects, if you are hating insects, switch off this channel and do not watch me. If you like insects, if you enjoy insects, if you like honeybees, yeah, this is channel for you. Okay, what's about honeybees? There are some sorts of honeybees because they have different jobs. Still, these are worker bees, but you can recognize they're doing different jobs. They just can be as a nurse. Initially, honeybee is hatching and making very simple work. As a cleaner, very low paid job. This is a cleaning bee sitting in a colony, walking around in a colony between cells, helping to another bees and cleaning the cells before foraging bees coming to the beehive and bringing the nectar. So cleaning bee preparing the cells before foraging bees, bringing the honey, bringing the nectar. Nectar is very simple liquid of sweet liquid from flowers. But other bees sitting inside beehive were producing, were just taking the nectar, bringing, which was brought by other bees, taken by the proboscis, the tongue, keeping inside the body and then taking it back and just making ventilation inside beehive and producing nectar, and then put this good quality nectar inside cells, which will be produced as a honey. Yes, as a honey. I guess I need to change my recording system on my telephone. I noticed, but you can see the names, but on telephone you will not see it. On telephone, how to change.